Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for another update on the whole solo queue situation. I thought I'm gonna read through the dev update from Riot Games. It is all first impressions. We're just gonna jump into it and read through it. This has been a very interesting topic, and I got worried for a while that it was just forgotten because it was spoken less about. But it seems like Riot has delivered with additional news. I was also happy about the previous news, but then again, it was something that was, they delivered it to us in very quick fashion. And due to COVID and a lot of circumstances, I can imagine that it's difficult to figure things out. But nevertheless, let's just jump right into it. Dev updates on 2020 ranked and matchmaking. We've got details on progress we've made, our next projects, and early preseason explorations. Riot Code Bear. That reads like Colbert, like the show host. Nevertheless, welcome back again. I'm Cody Riot Code Bear Germain, product lead for competitive gameplay on League of Legends. In late February, we talked about our plans for ranked in 2020. Today, we'll revisit those goals, provide an update and on what we've done so far, and review some big changes that are making their way to you soon. Buckle up. Well, I ain't got no belt. Goals. As a refresher, this year we want to solve problems that have been a thorn in everyone's side for years. This means picking apart our systems and yanking out old plumbing to meet the following goals. But I'm happy that they admit that it's been a problem for years. This is something that felt like it almost got avoided in the previous post. Nevertheless, improve queue matchmaking quality without compromising queue time and availability. Okay. Improve transparency around ranked and matchmaking system. Yes, please. Improve progression, satisfaction, and skill expression in our systems. Yes. Make rewards more recognizable and relevant for time spent in league. Yes. Players can play with and find others they want to play with. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm sure that's great. I can't really relate to it on a personal note, so I'm sorry. Last post, we briefly touched on game-ruining behavior, but didn't explicitly include it in our goals. As such, we've added a new goal that explicitly covers the interactions you have with other players during your matches. Provide players who are subject to bad behaviors more visibility into actions taken. So this one, I had as a complaint in the previous video that they were just saying that, oh, our system works, we're just not showing it to you enough. Obviously and evidently it didn't work good enough, and I think there is some tuning to be done. So I hope that will be, addressed in this post. Initial results. We're about a third of the way through the year. Our focus so far has been on our first goal. We're only a third of the way through the year? That can't be right. We're in June. Okay, we continue. Improve queue matchmaking quality without compromising queue time and availability. Here's what we've shipped since February and how it's faring. Autofill parity. In 10.6, we shipped autofill parity, which aims to equalize the number of autofills across teams. Since then, autofill imbalance has gone from 11.4% of all ranked solo duo games to less than 5%, with almost no impact to queue times. Well, I applaud that. I think there is something that maybe Riot should look into. I would understand if they wouldn't divulge the stats to us, but there is. I'm pretty certain that having autofill players in certain positions is a lot worse than having autofill players in others. For example, especially in higher ranked, having an autofill jungler against a high ranked jungler in a lot of cases results in an automatic loss, which is, happens. But I'm certain that there are some roles that are more heavily impacted by having autofill players. I think, for example, playing AD carry position, there are champions that overlap with other roles or top, or there's basically champions that overlap. Supports most of the time don't get autofilled. They get to play support most of the time because it's a less like role. Jungle, after the whole debacle about how people complained about jungle, the jungle play rate also plummeted very far. So it's something that is important to bring up too, that there are some autofill roles that are heavily, more impacted than others. Autofill swap. Players helped us find a gap where autofill was inaccurately accounting for teammates' role preferences. This led to situations where two teammates were autofilled into each other's primary or secondary roles. In 10.7, we completely eliminated that bug with no impact to queue times. That is nice. Okay. I have nothing to add to that portion. Just need to double check that my microphone is working and that I'm recording. Sorry. Pre-made parity. Similar to autofill parity, pre-made parity strives to make matches with an equal number of pre-mates on each side. We activated this feature in 10.7, and since then we've gone from 54% of pre-made matches having imbalanced pre-mates to 6%, with little to no impact on queue times depending on skill level. Now that is nutty, man. That is a significant improvement, and honestly, the imbalance percentage, that is crazy as well. The fact that it was 54% of premium matches having imbalanced premates to 6%, that was the number in the first place was super high. So that's super nice that they managed to drop it to 6%. This makes me super happy. That's great progress. New matchmaking algorithm. Over the last few months, we've been simulating and testing a new matchmaking algorithm to more accurately and quickly identify new and veteran players' skills. We're happy to say that we finally made the right changes to outperform our old system and made a full upgrade to normal queues in 10.10. The system is showing an improvement in most regions measured in terms of win prediction accuracy and has allowed us to be confident in moving forward with our next feature, ranked account seeding. The new matchmaking algorithm will be finding its way to ranked queues in early preseason to avoid major impact to ranked MMR during the current season. Now that is fantastic. This is going to be in place to, help with new accounts. Like if new accounts, they start off around gold MMR, if I remember correctly, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Smurfs are going to be handled better through this, and in general, it's just going to be just a positive change. I'm very happy to hear this too. My goodness, a lot of good news already, and we aren't even halfway through. That is, or a third way through in Riot language. Okay, I have nothing bad to say about this. That's cool. The new matchmaking algorithm will find its way to ranked queues in early preseason to avoid major impact to ranked MMR during the current season. Okay, that's fair. Ranked account seeding. Formerly known as new account seeding, ranked account seeding is built to more accurately place you in your first games of ranked. In the past, we were using a fixed placement to start you somewhere towards the bottom half of the curve. While starting everyone at the same spot was fair, this meant players actually at the skill level of the starting MMR were frequently matched with new players whose actual skill was much higher or lower. Since MMR is closer to a bell curve, this meant matchmaking quality suffered right at the highest populated skill level. Yes, so this is the thing that came to mind right away in the previous point. By seeding players based on gameplay information from other queues, we're confident that players will be more accurately placed at the start of their climb. This will make it so others aren't experiencing matches that seem imbalanced from the start. We'll be rolling this out slowly over the next couple of patches so we can monitor and respond to impacts quickly and carefully. I'm just happy that they are making bold changes. Making bold changes is definitely the right way forward, as long as things are not just standing still and kind of rotting slowly. Even if this doesn't work perfectly in the first place, I'm happy that there is, something that is actively being tried in order for us to, work towards a good place and a good position of the solo queue system. So this is, I'm happy about this too. I think this is very good. The key thing here is, I don't know, some accounts get leveled with ARAM. I don't know how that's gonna transfer. Some accounts get leveled through, bot games. I don't know how this will translate. A lot of question marks in terms of how your MMR will be impacted by how you get to the point of level 30. Maybe people are going to, let's say you want to do a level 1 to challenger challenge, okay? You get 5 of your buddies together and you level from 1 to 30 and you absolutely do everything in your power to massacre every normal game that you play all the way up to level 30. Like, what is your MMR going to look like if you do that? There is going to be, some things to definitely explore, and maybe this is going to be, an incentive for Smurfs to destroy normal games even harder or something like this. Who knows? But normal game also has matchmaking rating, so we will just have to see, because this is something that was mentioned before, that they tried out this algorithm for normal games. So maybe the seeding and the matchmaking for normal games is also going to be improved in order to remove newer players and put Smurfs against normal game superheroes and so forth. I think this is interesting because this is definitely the system they used in Valorant. I think for anyone that played Valorant, the normal games you played beforehand, the MMR and who you played against, definitely shifted between games if you did well. And I think there is definitely some crossover there in this system, but I might be wrong. I'm not a computer scientist. I don't know. I don't even know the correct title. So let's move on. What's next for matchmaking? We've made a lot of improvements to matchmaking over the first third of the year, and the team is rolling on to work toward our other goals. We'll still be monitoring matchmaking and we'll make additional tweaks as necessary, but investigation on remaining topics like autofill, position parity, both teams have the same positions autofilled, and blue side, red side matchmaking calibration will be on more of a preseason timeline. Honestly, very nice. Coming soon. Let's continue. Coming soon, our next major area of focus is on providing better feedback on action taken around disruptive behaviors. We've already begun shipping improvements. Player feedback. In 10.10, we start leveling up our player feedback system's notifications, and actioned punishments will be much clearer going forward. You're now notified when disruptive behavior you've reported is punished, even if the player was punished for a different report category or in a later game. Let us know what level of feedback feels right to you as we experiment with these notifications. We'll be actively tweaking the visibility configurations here to make sure we find the right balance on punishments. Okay. Still, I'm hoping that we have some active solutions now in the next paragraph, so let's hope. Where are we now and what's next? We think one of the best ways to identify and implement the right solution is to iterate quickly and adapt. Throughout 2020 and into 2021, we'll be experimenting with some new features on live service to more rapidly adapt to behavioral trends as they come up. Compared to full-fledged features, you should expect these experiments to be less developed but evolve rapidly if we see clear successes. The goal is to get quick feedback from players as we're rounding these features out, so we don't waste time and resources on things that won't actually solve the problems you're dealing with. I'm curious as to what are these new features. So let's just continue. Here's the first area we're exploring that clearly isn't meeting today's standards: champ select, reporting, and muting. Disruptive behavior in champ select is a problem that players have very few ways to deal with. Starting late June, early July, we're going to give you the ability to report a player in champion select. At first, these reports will be used to establish a data foundation for champ select behavior. Once we've got a solid understanding of the situation, we'll be looking to build our punishment system. Of everything we're talking about today, this is the one we're going to be most cautious with. Okay. Well, great. Nothing to add. This is a very refreshing piece of news. So this is great. What's next? Given the breadth of this space, we'll be looking into next steps around game-ruining behavior throughout the year. Additional communication around this can be found in Medlar's most recent blog post. Just gonna double check this. Okay, so this is the one that we read the last time. We'll provide more updates soon. We've also got one improvement teed up toward our goal of ensuring players can play with and find others they want to play with. Okay. Opening flex restrictions. Well, this seems kind of out of character, but okay. Opening flex restrictions. Over the past few months, we've seen 5-stack premiums in flex queue go from less than 20% of flex games to greater than 35%, likely due to the launch of Clash and more time at home. This makes full premiums the most popular party size in all of flex queue. There's no better time for us to loosen up the gates and allow players to play with anyone on their team, not just those within nearby ranked tiers. To maintain match fairness, we're switching Flex's matchmaking to be more similar to Clash's, which prioritizes balance across a much broader range of MMR. We're currently locking down which upcoming patch to ship these changes in. Well, that's nice. I think that's good too. There's been occasions where I've wanted to play Flex and you have teammates that just don't play flex or something like that, and it is cool that you have like a collective MMR that puts you in, like, as in Clash, in a specific tier or of some sort. So super cool, super cool. Let's continue. Preseason ideas and exploration. In addition to what we've talked about so far, we're also planning more improvements to Ranked for Preseason 2021. Promo series. Toward the goal of improving progression satisfaction and skill expression in our systems, it's looking likely that we'll be removing inter-division promotions to reduce frustration of seemingly hitting a wall when you know you've been playing well. This means we'll also need to look at inter-division demotion protections to make sure that players are able to get where they should be in both directions without false limitations. Nice. Very good. Very good. But still, it seems like we're going to have promo series between like gold and platinum, but still, lowering the amount of promo games in general is just, it's a blessing. You know, bless your face, bless the game. This is a massive blessing. It just added an additional RNG element that was very frustrating, you know? If, let's say, you have 52% win ratio, right? You play 100 games, you win 2 more than you have 52 wins. How does the math check out? You have 51 wins and then 49, whatever. I'm bad idea to do math here. Nevertheless, the same percentage values are so much more difficult to apply within promo games. If you're just unlucky, so to speak, that your losses happen to be in promo games, you get punished for it, and this is, very frustrating. So, removing promo series is fantastic. I think it just adds an RNG element that is not needed to be there, and it just causes frustration. So, screw promo series, honestly. Ranked informed matchmaking and transparency. Playing matches where displayed ranks are very far apart is frustrating, regardless of how close everyone's MMR is. We're looking to modify matchmaking to include rank spread limits and skill level transparency updates. The goal here is to give you confidence that you're playing with other players who are in the same stage of their climb as you are. Overall, we'd like to avoid those occasional situations where you see large gaps between player ranks in your games. I think this is the way. Honestly, I think even if there is long game times, it's not an issue. I remember back in season 3, 4, 5, there were queue times that were very long, but at least you knew that you were going to play with, the same. This is more relevant in higher ranks than in lower ranks. At least you knew, like, I remember back in the days, back in like season 5, 3, 4, as I mentioned, it was, you queued up, and then there was like these groups. There was like 2 rolling groups of 10 players each that played in games, and then you had to queue up and wait to get into that group. And those games are always high quality because you're playing with decent players, and there was no effort done to reduce queue time in order to like squeeze in some diamond player in both teams just to fix the queue times. I would rather have longer queue times and remove these large gaps. So this is good. This post makes me very happy because it seems as if Riot Games is aware of a lot of the issues. That makes me super happy. Rewards and legacy recognition. We'll be making thematic changes to Victoria's line and highlighting your current and past ranked accomplishments so that you can let other players know your past achievements without diluting your current ones. Cool. I've been talking about restoring the credibility of solo queue rank, and this is definitely a step in that direction. Having cool shit is nice. It's definitely nice. Organized group play. Given the successful launch of Clash and the increase of premates across queues, see the flex note above. It's time to come up with a more cohesive vision for where team-based League of Legends takes us in the future. We're going to be looking at long-term solutions for how Clash and Flex play together to create a healthy team ecosystem for League of Legends, ironing out how you find others in League like you to play with, which is good because the forums are gone and Reddit is Reddit, and Twitter is Twitter, and Discord is okay, I guess, but definitely, give us some chat rooms, give us some stuff. I remember like in Warcraft 3, you were in channels, and the Battle.net kind of world was super cool because you were just in channels, you could chat with people. It was cool to just chill in channels, that was like a cool thing. And I think there is a lot of work to be done, to expand on the community aspect, especially because we lost the forums. Recognizing teams that stick together and giving them something to strive for long term. Okay. Conclusion. It's been a busy year so far, and the team is super excited to keep the ball rolling and deliver more improvements to your competitive experience. We'll continue to provide updates on what we're shipping and how things are going, so please keep giving us your unfiltered feedback. As always, we'll see you on the Rift. Honestly, a lot of the things that have been said make me very happy. Very happy. I feel like they are addressing a lot of the issues. A lot of the issues that were mentioned by many. I think they are not beating around the bush. They are not being vague, as I interpreted the previous post. They are pinpointing pain spots for a big part of the player base. And I remember as well in the post with Medler that they were mentioning that they were going to I'm trying to find the post with Medler, sorry. The post with Medler where they mentioned that they were going to increase rapid detection, meaning the odds of people getting banned and the automatic banning from the system is going to be more harsh, and then they posed the question with the false positive trade-off: is it okay for one player to get banned if 19 trolls also get banned? What if the ban is deserved 1 to 100 times? And they were just asking the question of, what is a good system to have? So I think definitely they should increase the level of rapid detection. I think still, I am of the opinion that, high elo rank games are very difficult to monitor, with an algorithm, because I think the further you go up in ranks, the easier it is to soften it. If I want to intentionally lose a game in Iron, it is very obvious that I'm trying to intentionally lose. It as harsh as it might seem, a player as myself and many others would have to try very hard to lose a game in Iron, to the point where it's just so blatantly obvious. The higher you go up in ranks, the more difficult it becomes for an algorithm to detect. And I think just because, I understand that you cannot deploy enough employees to cover all games with dealers. There's just too many games, understandable. That's why they're trying to figure out algorithms for the champion select, also for how, bad behavior is being detected. It's like a game of, it reminds me of how casinos are trying to catch people that count cards. It's always, a case of, trying to stay ahead somehow. And it's the same when it comes to higher end players. They understand how to soft int and how to, be barely noticed by any type of systems. You can skate around the system and you figure out how the system works. And even when language, you notice which words kind of auto ban you and which don't, and so forth. There is, some thoughts being put into it. And I am still of the opinion that since the higher ranks, in the highest ranks, there's not that many games as in other ranks, right? Because of course in Challenger there's the least amount of players out of any elo bracket, and I think still there is an argument to be made, just because most of these games get streamed, and this is where the visibility is, and a lot of the gameplay and the attitudes are being trickled down from there. I think there is still, what I'm trying to get to is there's still a lot of reason to manually monitor high elo games, just because there is a smaller volume, and it also, has an overall impact on the entire community. Something that I wanted to add as a final note, because Riot is definitely moving in the right direction with this, is us as a community also need to do our part. It is, sometimes something that I draw a lot of motivation from, and I think this is something that I've stuck by for a very long time, is that humans on the planet, that makes it sound like there's humans elsewhere. Humans on the planet, we're all connected somehow, and the way we're connected, it might sound crazy, but let's say over a lifetime you meet 1,000 people. It might be more, it might be less. Let's say you meet 1,000 people over a lifetime. Every interaction you have with these people, you have an opportunity to leave a positive impact. If you manage to, have a positive impact on 1,000 people, and let's say these 1,000 people are in contact with 1,000 people too, each, it means you're already connected with 1 million people. And then do that math again, another 1,000 people. And you have a way where you can impact the world somehow positively. And, if you are a streamer, if you are a public figure, if you are making videos, or if you are interacting with more people, then you have an opportunity to connect with even more people. And the same way it happens and works in League of Legends. If there's a streamer with 10,000 viewers, the amount of power and the amount of force that is behind that is crazy. It is surreal. And the key thing is, if you have 10,000 players watching you and they go into their games and they have similar attitudes as you, and they pick up from how you are behaving and how you are acting, that just impacts the whole League of Legends ecosystem in some shape or form. So us as individuals, we have a lot of power. Public figures have a lot of power to, have a positive impact. And I think a lot of the issues that are within the community can be solved by us, the community too. And if you want change, it starts within. And I'm not putting myself on some pedestal. I've been, when I've been streaming, I've also been saying, oh, this guy is terrible, this guy is really bad, you should uninstall, or some things like this. I have not been, the example that I could be. I'm not leaving my games or going AFK or something, but it could be better, right? Even if it's not written in chat, I usually avoid writing in chat and I just say it in person. That still has some impact on the people that are watching. And I'm going to do my best to have to share the experience that I want other players to also experience, and to share the attitudes that I want to see in others. And regardless of if you're a streamer or if you're just a player that plays solo queue or play with your friends, we are all connected, and one person can have a lot of great impact, and we can inspire each other and be better. So I think this needs to go in hand with the changes that Riot is making, because we can shift the tide, definitely. And I think it starts with us on an individual level, and also with streamers across the board that have the power to really, really impact something. We should really, really not underestimate how capable we are as individuals in terms of impacting a space like this. I love this game, and I wanted to prosper. I wanted to, my cat is clawing on the door. I wanted to be around for a very long time. I played this game for 10 years, and I don't plan to stop anytime soon. I work with the game, but I'm also a big fan of the game. In a case where I wouldn't be working with the game, I would still be playing it, because it is a very, very beautiful game. And I believe in the community. I believe also in Riot Games' handling of the game. And I think this post was definitely a very positive move in the right direction. Okay, 30 minutes, I think that summarizes it. If you guys have any thoughts, please leave them in the comments. I hope this video wasn't too long and too confusing, but it was maybe a bedtime story, you know, as a little read-through. If you sneeze during this video, bless you and bless your face. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts and comments below. Let's see how these changes impact solo queue rank and how we as a community can make it more better and fun. All the best to you. Cheers.